Greetings fellow ukuleleans, Jeff Weinberger coming at you here with a new tutorial. I'd like to continue our series on those 70s chords. And this is a song from 1972/1973. I think it was recorded in 72, released in 73. Summer Breeze by Seals and Crofts. It was a huge hit. I remember it being on the radio when I was a kid. It was all over the place. Very popular song, beautiful song. It's got kind of a mix of easy chords and maybe some chords you haven't seen before, but mostly easy chords. Just a word about chords and learning the proper chords to a song. This one's kind of interesting. I have this songbook here. It's a Hal Leonard songbook, one of the biggest music publishers in the world, Hal Leonard. And it's Songs of the 70's, the Decade series. Great stuff. And they have a certain version of the chords in this that I'm not so sure all of it's right. But, you know, we would like to think we could trust songbooks. But it has a couple of discrepancies that I'll give you what they say, and I'll give you what my ears are hearing when I listen to the record. So I always think that opening chord progression is E minor to C. It's an acoustic guitar that plays it. And to me, it sounds like E minor to C. Well, these guys in the Hal Leonard songbook are saying E minor 7 to A minor 7. Let's check that out. That's beautiful. I like it, but I don't think that's it. So, gotta disagree with you there, Hal. Don't think you had that one right. So E minor to C is what I'm going to commit to. That's what I think it is. So there's our intro, and that goes 6 times altogether. But on top of 4 of those times, there is a lick, and that lick goes like this. It's played by multiple instruments, an electric piano, saxophone, bunch of things layered. But let's learn it. It's going to be the note E, and that's the 4th fret of your C string. It's going to be the note G, that's the 3rd fret of your E string. It's going to be the note A, that's the 5th fret of your A string. So let's try that. Those 3. Then you go back to B on the 2nd fret of your A string. Play A on the 5th fret of your E string. G on the 3rd fret of your E string. F sharp on the 2nd fret of your E string. And you finish it off with E at the 4th fret of your C, D at the 2nd fret of your C, back to E at the 4th fret of your C. I will tab that out. It'll be a lot easier if you can see the tab rather than hear me describe to you the strings and the frets, which actually can be a little tedious to listen to and probably a little tedious for me to say. So just look at the tab. It'll tell you everything. I'll link to that down below. I will also link to a song sheet so you can see the words and the chords. And I will also link to a YouTube video so you can hear Seals and Crofts playing this song so that you can hear for yourself what the right chords are. All right, so we get into the verse and everything shifts to E major. No longer are we in E minor anymore. It goes to E major. Well, a lot of ukulele players hate that chord, E major. The conventional way to play it in most books is going to tell you 4-4-4-2. And that indeed is the way to play it if you can handle that. By the way, this is a low G ukulele, but all of this is totally applicable to high G ukulele also, and even baritone ukulele if you change the chord fingerings. All right, so we have E major, and if you don't like that fingering, I have a couple quick alternatives for you. This whole video is about this out there, about how to play an E chord, but let me give you 2 very quick alternatives that you'll see in those sort of videos. One is to bar, so you take your 3rd finger and you bar it across like that on your G string, your C string, and your E string at the 4th fret. And that can be a nice alternative that allows you to do that without cramming 3 fingers onto 1 fret. So that can be good. And then your 1st finger is still in the same place as it normally would be, the 2nd fret of the A string. So that's an okay way to do an E. There's another one where I've seen this called the Easy E. And not the guy in NWA, but Easy E. This is the 4th fret on the G string. you X out the C string and then you play the E string open, second fret of the A string. That's okay, but to me that sounds a little hollow. It lacks a third. It doesn't have the third of the chord in it. It doesn't have that all-important G sharp note in there. So to me, I don't like that. To me, it's not a great alternative, but I have seen that out there. If you absolutely can't do an E chord, maybe that would work for you. One other quick one for you. Skip the G string and just play the bottom 3 strings. You got 4, 4, 2. That's a nice one. You could do that if you're comfortable with muting out your G string so you don't hear it. I mute that out by touching it with my second finger. Not laying my second finger on it and pressing, but just barely touching it. That takes it out of action and you don't have to worry about it. Says alternatives. If you can't do a full-fledged E chord, don't worry. There's some other ways. All right, so here's the chord progression for that verse. It's E, G, D, A. And then it returns to that E to C or E to A minor 7, depending on who you believe as far as the right version. Let's see what they both sound like. Here's E to C, which is what I think it is, or E to C major 7. Or C major 7. It's kind of beautiful. And then the songbook says E to A minor 7. That's nice too. I could go with either one. And believe me, when I say that A minor 7 and C major 7, they share an awful lot of notes together. They're very similar chords, so they're almost interchangeable in some ways. Then it's just kind of a matter of splitting hairs of which one you tend to use. But they share a bunch of notes, so both of those sounded good to me. Or that one's a little softer, a little less harsh, so maybe I would go with that, A minor 7.